Hi, everybody. I'm Tina Brewster, and thank you for joining us today on Facebook Live. With me today, we've got a big panel. We've got really big news. I'll kick it over to Ken McBee first. Ken, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Great to have everybody here. I'm Ken McBee. I'm the VP of Driver Retention here at Swift. Dave?
David Tillman, Vice President of Safety.
And I'm Andrew Flockhart, Systems Optimization. I work with the driver leaders on screens and reports.
Absolutely. So today we're going to be talking about our brand new driver performance program, which we just announced yesterday, and I know there's a lot of buzz behind it, and everyone's pretty anxious to see what this has to do with our drivers and their paychecks, obviously. So Ken, what is the driver performance program? Let's start with a high level view and then start to drill down from there.
Well, just to start at the beginning, we've collected your feedback over the last year. So we've been working on this program for over a year now. Our old driver ranking program that is current state, it was a very good program and still is, and has been for a very long time, but it's kind of ran its course a little bit. We got feedback that there's some adjustments that we needed to make and things that you as a driver would like to see done different. So we did share best practices with our sister company there on how they did some of their stuff. We looked throughout the industry, like what's the best way we can reward our drivers for the performance that they have for us. So this is what we've come up with. So we want to share that with you today. There are some minimum requirements. We would like you to run a minimum of 6,000 miles per month, not have a preventable crash for the month, complete one eligible Swift University course. That's a 10-minute or less course that for instance, when it comes to August, we probably will assign like a winter weather or a chaining class or different classes like that. We've got a great tool in Swift University. So there'll be eligible classes right on the app, which we'll show you here as we go through this event. In a bonus paying position at the end of last day of the month, and then be an active employee. That's one of the big benefits with this is being the active employee when we pay this out. So we're paid. So for instance, January will be the first month that we do this, January 1st through the end of the month of January 2021. So you'll be paid the second payday for January in February. So just to give an example.
Absolutely. So Ken, well, real quick though, one of the biggest changes is that this is going to be a monthly bonus, a monthly payout.
Correct.
And I think that's really big to talk about. I know we've got a lot of teams evaluating everything, trying to make this the best possible program for our drivers. And what we heard was it's confusing, it's hard to stay as diamond driver, I don't have good work-life balance. So can you talk a little bit about the monthly performance and why we went that way?
Well, just overall, we heard from the drivers that we would like to see this on a monthly bonus program rather than quarterly. So, because right now at the end of the quarter, it's the second payday that you get paid. So it's really that cash or that money for your performance every month right away for all the great things you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
With that monthly bonus too, this program is set up to where the other one was a rolling 36 months. This really starts new every month. So let's just say, for instance, you don't hit some of the categories. The very next month, you can still bonus in all the categories. So that was another big change too.
Absolutely. And then, so you said this goes into effect January 1st. I mean, it is November 20th. We're talking about this. We're doing this just because it's a big change, right? And we want to make sure
Correct.
our drivers understand the program, understand how it works, so that when we start January 1st, it's not a mass chaos or confusion. And one of the best things about this new program, I feel, is that we're going to have it all out there for the drivers to see. And I know Andrew, you introduced yourself earlier. Andrew has some really good some screens that we can share and show you what it's going to look like. Andrew, if you wanted to talk a little bit about that, that'd be good.
Sure. Yeah. So we definitely realize it's important for you all to know exactly where you sit with your bonus, what you're set to make by the end of the month. and what you need to complete in order to get as much money in this bonus program as possible. So we're going to show you here what this screen will look like for you. You'll be able to view this both on the driver portal and on the driver app. So this is what the portal view will look like. So as Ken mentioned, there's minimum requirements to be eligible to receive a bonus, and we're going to list all those out here. Complete a minimum of 6,000 miles in the month, one eligible Swift University class, no preventable crashes, and you have to be in a bonus paying position at the end of the month. All of these will have a checkbox, so you'll simply see it's checked if you've completed it, and it'll be a blank square if you still need to complete it to be eligible. And then as you roll down, we're going to give you a projection of what your bonus payout will be based on your current pace for the month. So assuming you continue to get the same miles you have so far in the month, here's what your projected payout will be, both in the dollar amounts here and the cent per mile that we're projecting you to reach. And as we keep scrolling down, you can see your miles progress to date, what your projected miles is for the end of the month. Versus that bonus eligible 6,000 mile mark and the level 1 and level 2 productivity values that were set. If we keep going down, we've got the safety bonus, the smart drive score you need to reach, the fuel bonus based on the dispatch miles per gallon, and then the platinum and diamond levels as well. So we're hoping this will be really clear on what you're set to get and what you still need to do. There'll be a little to-do button here, which will say which ones you're on track to reach and which you're not. We'll have some help in there for you on what you can do. If you're struggling to reach that 6.9 miles per gallon, we'll put some best practices on there, right, so that you have some ideas of what you can do to improve that. Same thing on Smart Drive score. What can I do to improve my Smart Drive score? And then lastly, those Swift University classes. So when you click on this, there will be a full list of all the classes you can take for this month to be eligible for this bonus program. So that's what this is going to look like on the driver portal. We also can show you what it will look like on the phone. So just the exact same information, right? But you can pull this up right on your phone, scroll through, see what you're able to hit and what you're not. And we hope this will help you, when you're having those conversations with your driver leader, that you have some visibility, same as the driver leader, to what you're on track.
Tina, it might be best too if we kind of go backwards a little ways. We kind of jumped ahead on the app, but and I think that's great. They can see a visual where we're at, but let's talk about what those bonus categories are.
You got it. Let's do it. I think we have a graphic for that will help kind of walk through this. And I know, like I said, it's November 20th. We're talking about this, so we're going to make sure that you get all the information. So we'll start rolling things out as they come available to everyone. But what you see on the screen is the program where you can actually bonus independently on each category. So as Ken said, there are some minimum requirements that you've got to hit, you've got to meet, which they're on that screen as well. But once you've hit those requirements, then we start looking and drilling down into each category. So so Ken, do you want to talk a little bit about fuel, and then maybe Dave can talk about the safety portion of it?
Sure. So fuel, the metric that we've put in place is 6.9 or higher on dispatch MPG. Now realize dispatch MPG encompasses a lot of things, right? It's really overall your driving miles per gallon, but it could be things that would affect that as running out of route, your driver control idle, all of those things. So to put it in perspective, when we say 6.9 or higher, I did see some feedback already this morning. Well, that seems kind of high. 6.9 is our company average. So we went with just what the company average was. Most of the drivers are hitting that. So that you can ask your driver leader. That'll be very visible to you on the new app in the near future of what you see. You can see where your dispatch MPG is each day. So put it in perspective, very easy to attain. And then Dave, you want to touch on safety piece?
Yeah. Yeah. So thanks for the opportunity to speak to this. First and foremost, I'm really excited about the safety piece for a number of reasons, but as has been advertised in the video we put out the other day and talked about it. So for the Smart Drive score, the qualifier is a 20. And just to put that into context, the company average score right now for Smart Drive is a 9. And currently 82% of the fleet has a score of 20 or better. So when it comes to actually meeting that goal of 20 or less, 0 being best, 82% of the fleet currently meet that criteria. So I think we've seen this year great strides in the name of safety. I think we're going to see a lot of our driving associates get rewarded for that based on the performance they've had this year. And then also Ken talked a little bit about, hey, one of the overall qualifiers is no preventable crashes within the month. Similar to our Smart Drive score being extremely low and a very good average for the company, we're having a lot less crashes this year. We're running close to 15% less crashes per million miles this year than we had last year. So we're going to see more drivers qualify on that behalf as well. So really excited about it. When it comes to the Smart Drive score, there's questions around, hey, how do I improve my score? What does that look like? Just as a good reminder, keep this in mind. The Smart Drive score is always a look back at your previous 4 weeks. It's taking into account any events you may have generated over the previous 4 weeks. And then it's also looking at how much drive time you had during those 4 weeks. If you're looking to improve your score, first and foremost, we want to obviously not generate any new events, following distance, unsafe lane change, things like that. But also, as you increase your productivity and you're driving more, that's going to improve your score as well. And again, you're not getting punished for things 6 months ago or anything like that. This is really a look back at 4 weeks, and that's
perfect. And Dave, part of this, the reason why we can invest extra money in programs like this is because of the reduction in crashes, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, safety is always going to be one of our key priorities here at Swift, right? We live and breathe that, and frankly, we've put a lot of initiatives and expectations on our drivers this year, and time again, we see our drivers rise to the occasion. So it makes a program like this that much more exciting because we're going to see really good folks, really committed drivers be rewarded for all their hard work. And I'm convinced we're only going to get better. We're going to improve in 2021. This is going to be, I think, part of that plan, but certainly the quality of our driving associates and their commitment is shining through in many areas of the business right now, and it's very exciting.
Excellent. Yeah, absolutely. And I should have mentioned this before, but we are, of course, live, and so if you have questions or anything, feel free to send the message in there, and we'll start getting through as many as we can this time, and then even after the live, we'll address your questions, even if it's not on the live broadcast. But speaking of questions, there is one about putting out more information about how Smart Drive is scored and things like that. And Dave, I'll defer to you, but first I just want to say that with these 3 categories that we're going to be scoring you on, we're going to make sure that you understand the ins and outs of each category and start sharing best practices to help you obtain these goals very easily. And so Dave, can you talk a little bit about how Smart Drive is scored? And then if there is any sort of crash that happens in that month, what happens later on? Like would they get deemed on this month, or would it be next month, or how does that work?
Yeah, so the Smart Drive score, keep in mind, doesn't have like crash data taken into account or anything like that. So it's essentially a 4-week look back at events generated, and then it's normalized by how much a driver operates, right? So let's just say, for example, driver A ran 200 hours in the 4 weeks, and driver B ran only 10 hours in the previous 4 weeks, but they generated the same number of events. Well, driver B's score is going to be a lot worse because they have not driven nearly the miles or the operating time. So that's essentially, in essence. I know there's a question, can we put out the score and how it's scored? Absolutely. We'll post another post on the transmission portal. It is included in the Swift University course if you've ever taken the Smart Drive, but we'll absolutely put out another post that explains very pointedly this event is worth X amount, so that there's no kind of confusion there. And we do have that readily available.
And all of these tool tips will be in the mobile app too, along with on the portal app.
Correct. Yep. On that app, there'll be a explanation of exactly how the score works as well.
Okay.
Thank you for that. And so now the final piece is productivity piece that we haven't touched on yet. I don't know if Ken or Andrew, one of you two want to touch on the productivity?
I'll take the productivity. So on the productivity piece, I've seen some questions already coming through, like for instance, 6,000 miles, that's it. Realize 6,000 miles is the minimum. That's to be really what I would call get on the dance floor for the performance bonus. There is, for instance, a solo is 8,250, and then there's a second level of 9,250. So you have a chance of more pennies there per mile, right? You have a level 1 and you have a level 2 chance to get more money. So to put it in perspective, if you would get the safety bonus of 1 cent, you get the fuel bonus of 1 cent, then you get the productivity bonus of level 1 and 2 of 2 cents, then that hits the qualifier that you automatically get the platinum bonus, and you would be getting 6 cents a mile. So with that in mind, 6 cents a mile compared to what our mileage requirements were before, for platinum, you'd get 5 cents. So you technically, this pays another penny per mile. To put it in perspective too, for anybody wondering on those mileage requirements, they're technically the gold and the platinum mileage, or very close. So just realize that this is all very attainable, and we should be very successful with this program. There was a lot more put into it. One of the questions I noticed that we have too is multiple times, are you going to be paid out for this last fourth quarter? Yes, you'll be paid out for this last fourth quarter. It will be paid the second payday in January. So this program starts new January 1st. So technically you'll get your Q4 bonus, second payday in January, and then you'll start getting your next January bonus, second payday in February. So then it'll go to monthly. We purposely did that so it was an easy transition, and we finish up the old driver ranking bonus program at the end of the year.
And Ken, there's a great question as far as when new drivers are going to be eligible. In the previous program, in the driver ranking program, you were not eligible for the driver ranking bonus until you've been employed for 6 months after your first solo or team dispatch. In the new program, you are eligible the first full calendar month after you have your first solo or team dispatch. So come January 1st, as long as you've been a full solo or team driver for a calendar month, you'll be in the new program, so that there's no more 6-month wait to get in the bonus program.
So if I'm released to solo, or I'm a student driver for any of those folks watching right now, and I'm released to solo on January 15th, then February I would be my first full month, correct?
Yeah, that is correct. February would then be your eligible month to start the bonus program.
Excellent.
Okay, so we've touched on all the categories: fuel, safety, productivity. We touched on the minimum requirements to get to the dance floor, as Ken would say. I like that analogy. So how do we get to be homecoming king or queen? Just kidding. I don't know. How do we get to be diamond? What entails for diamond? Ken or Andrew, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, if you don't mind, Ken, I'll jump in on that one.
Go ahead.
So that was a big thing. We heard a lot of feedback on Diamond, right? It obviously took 3 years of consecutive months in platinum to reach diamond status. And what we got a lot of complaints on was if there was a lapse, and you had a poor month, it took you out of diamond status, and then it was a long haul to get back to diamond. So in the new program, we are focused on 30 out of 36 months. So if you achieve the platinum rank in 30 out of the last 36 months, you'll be eligible for diamond, right? So it's a lot more flexible. If you're diamond, and maybe you take an extended vacation, right, and you don't achieve the platinum status that month, as long as you're over that 30 out of 36 month level, you will still be a diamond driver.
I love that, and I know probably all of us on this call has had to field some conversations with diamond drivers and that just things don't fall the way it should in a month, and now they're trying to catch back up. So that is a great program for us that it helps with work-life balance. I know things happen, and sometimes you need to take a time off, and we don't want it to affect what's going on your paycheck or anything like that. So it's a really positive, in my opinion, a good thing about this program.
Tina, before we move on from that, can we talk about a couple other things, though? This is where, even if you're not a Diamond driver, your Platinum will grandfather you in, right? So for anybody that's been Platinum, we'll continue to grandfather. If you were, I looked at one this morning that was 22 out of 36 months. So technically, or it was 24, I'm sorry, out of 36 months. And 6 months later, she's going to be a Diamond driver. So she can be a Diamond driver even faster. The other part of this is if you've been a Platinum for just a few months, right? You're getting that much closer. If you were a Silver, Gold, or Bronze driver before, sometimes you kind of dug yourself a hole, right? Maybe you were new and trying to figure it all out and didn't run as many miles when you first started. So then you're always chasing to try to get out of that status. The good thing about this, again, is that we start over every month. So even if you've had a bad month, the very next month, you could still have the opportunity to get to 6 cents.
And can we show that infographic again? Because we're getting some questions on the 2 cents for Platinum and Diamond. So those are stacked on top of the fuel, safety, and productivity. So the way it works is if you achieve fuel, safety, and the level 2 productivity, right, which would equal up to 4 cents. If you achieve all 3 of those, then we'll stack the 2 cent Platinum driver bonus on top. If you have to achieve all 3 of those, right? If you missed out on fuel, you could still get paid out on the safety and the productivity bonus, but that would not make you a Platinum level for that month. So in order to be Platinum, you have to achieve fuel, safety, and the level 2 productivity. So that would be the 6 cents that Ken mentioned. The Diamond then comes in once you've reached 30 out of 36 or greater of your previous months at Platinum. Then we'll tag on that extra 2 cents for Diamond as well, which will put you at 8.
Excellent. I see one of the comments coming through is I'm a 5-time Diamond driver. Does that no longer matter? It definitely matters. So we have a lot of long-term Diamond drivers. Clear up to, I believe the oldest one is a 10-time Diamond driver. We do have an additional bonus that we give once a year at your anniversary of Diamond. The first time you hit Diamond, you also get this swag bag full of all this gear that says Diamond. All of that stuff stays in place. So none of that's changing. Yes, I would answer the question with, it does matter that you're a Diamond driver. You will still get your 8 cents. We still appreciate everything you do, and everything else stays the same. So yes, it does matter.
Absolutely. And I see another question was talking about our dedicated drivers. I know, our dedicated fleet is a little bit different. They bonus and they have pay different ways. Ken, do you want to talk a little bit about our dedicated drivers?
Sure. So dedicated drivers, they are, I would tell you, clear from the top, they are definitely engaged with all the customers to make sure that we go back as contracts expire, renegotiate, and our drivers are our utmost concern. We want to make sure that we get you the right pay at the right time. A lot of this stuff is already negotiated into the price. So most of our dedicated drivers are not in these programs. And that's because they've made the decision to either put it more into other pieces, like either a mileage or certain, some of them get drops and other things that paid for, or safety bonuses, or it depends. It's even the hourly wage needs to be at a higher wage. So we've wrapped it all into there. So I would just tell you that we're committed to revisit those as they come up. Our dedicated team is definitely a great team, that they have our drivers, in mind first thing when they're walking in the door with our customers, and they're working to make sure that they have good programs for each one. But it is customer specific. So unfortunately, no, you're not in the program, but there were probably other things that happened that is in your pay because you're not in the program. And then there's a lot of other benefits too, with your home every night and different things. In some cases, I know some dedicated, you're still a little bit over the road, but If you know, overall, that's the reason why the decision was made not to be in those programs.
Absolutely. And I saw another question in there about our owner operators. I don't know, Ken, if you want to touch on our owner operators out there as well.
So the owner operators are not in this program. We have done multiple raises and other things with them, though, that they've are not raises, but increases for contract rates. So that is all lumped in what they have. There is a bonus program that is set up for them for their students, but otherwise they're not involved. This is a company driver performance program.
Absolutely. And you know, we love our owners out there. Sometimes, you know, for legal reasons, we can't always do the same thing with our company with our owners that we do with their company. So now, with this new program, of course, you know, we're rolling it out in January. There's going to be a lot of information flowing around. I will say one of your best resources is talk to your leadership, talk to your terminal leader, fleet leader, driver leader. They'll have, you know, all this information in front of us as well. I know there's a lot of different scenarios for a lot of our drivers out there, so we want to make sure that we're answering your specific issues that's going on. I know we can't answer all your specific issues now. We can touch on as many as we can, but please continue to talk with your leadership about this and see what works for you. I saw a couple questions on there. You know, I think it has to do with, you know, like if you have a sleep apnea machine and things like that, how is that going to affect, you know, their fuel and things like that? What considerations have we made, or what will we be doing as far as like training for our drivers for this program?
Well, the biggest tool is definitely talking to your terminal leadership. I would tell you that for instance, your sleep apnea machine, if you're using OptiIdle and doing all the things that you can do, turning your truck off when you're not sleeping, we definitely want you to be comfortable at night and get a good night's sleep. Really what affects your dispatch MPG is driving out of route. I'll use the example as we looked at one of our drivers. They would be affected quite a bit because every time they came home, they drove 40 miles to see their spouse, right? And it was 40 miles back. And they were using the truck really as a company vehicle, or not a company vehicle, but as to get themselves around. At that point, that does affect you. Those are some of the things that really does affect your dispatch MPG. So just if you're very cognizant of what's going on and shutting the truck off when it's cool and doing all the right things, we don't want you to be uncomfortable, but I would tell you, you would have to idle a lot to not get to this dispatch MPG or be doing other things wrong. So if you just get with your terminal leadership, they can walk through it with you. It's not that hard to attain, in my opinion. It is a very attainable goal. You just have to be, you know, really cognizant of what you're doing and how you're driving. You know, using the cruise more, not running out of route, controlling your idle when you can. All those things are very important.
Hey, we've got another question about the million miles and the longevity bonuses. It's a great question. All of that will still be available and be separate from this program. So the bonuses that we've got for hitting the million mile marks will still pay out just the same as they have been.
Absolutely, and I think it's you know, there's a lot of variations to this program. There will be FAQs. They're already out there on the portal, so familiarize yourself with that as well as we work through this program. But one of the things that I just wanted to touch, I saw a question about mentors. I know our mentor bonuses are tied to our current driver ranking program, and we will be changing that as well. I don't know, Ken, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about the mentor bonus that ties to this piece.
Yeah, so very good question. This bonus will be changing too. The way that'll work is if your student hits all of the categories, those bonus categories, the safety, fuel, and productivity, you will receive $50 a month for up to 4 months for all the categories they hit. So that's $600 in bonuses for each student. You still, as a reminder, as a mentor or getting $100 per week for having a student, whether that's 1 day or 7 days. So definitely, if you're mentoring, get all the students you can, and that bonus doesn't change that much. There's flyers at your terminals. Your terminal has them to how to walk through it. But again, we try to keep this as simple as possible, and those are available at your terminals.
Yeah, I think one of the best parts of this program, well, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of good things about this program, but it's just the transparency. I've seen a lot of questions that said, what's the catch? Because it almost looks too good to be true for some people, and I think, you know, it's really not there's not a catch, there's not a hook. We're not trying to get you in anything. You know, we just want to make it very clear and bonus on what actually matters to be a profitable company. And you know, I'm so thankful to be in an industry that we are, and to work for Swift and the leadership that we have that is constantly looking for ways to improve our relationship with our drivers and to make you successful on the road. So you know, it's just such a great program to me, and the fact that you can look at it and you can see where you're hitting each category in real time, you know, and it shows you how much money is actually being left on the table if you miss one of those bonuses, so you can see and plan for in the future. So that's a really good thing. So one of the questions that came up is, where can you check your miles per gallon to see how you are doing, so that you know what you need to work on? And I think, you know, Andrew, I'll send that over to you. You touched on it a little bit, but I think it's important to talk it all the way through.
Yep. So once the portal and the app page are up and you can see all your progress, that your dispatch miles per gallon score will show right on this page. So you'll always be able to scroll here and see what you are achieving for dispatch miles per gallon over the time period we're looking at. Until this goes live, it's definitely information your driver leader has. So if you want to ask questions about that, reach out to your driver leader or your terminal leadership. And they can help you understand where you're currently sitting with dispatch.
Yeah, so just looking at the screen right there, you see the red and the X's. So that's letting you know you could have received that bonus, but you didn't, and this is the reasons why. So it's very clean and laid out that way.
So one of the questions I see in there too is, Jason, you had asked if you're currently in the program, will you still be in the program? Yes. So if you're currently in the driver ranking program, we are moving those folks over to the driver performance bonus program.
Yeah, and a question here about if you're on OTR and you decide to go over and help dedicated accounts, which happens a lot, you know, in this industry, how does this affect their bonus?
So great question, Tina. So the way we've built this new program is it's off your position code. Once you're in this bonus program, if you decide that you're going to go help intermodal and you're going to, you know, work at a dedicated, say for the month of December, it's still all the same requirements. Just you'll get paid off those miles. So before that was a little trickier, or you went into a none ranking before. When you went into those programs or to those divisions that didn't have ranking bonus. In this new one, it's about the position code you're in. So you'll still be in the bonus program.
Yeah, and I think it's important to really touch on the program. You know, it basically, you know, every month you kind of start at a clean slate, and you know, you've got to meet the minimum requirements, and then it's based on what's happening in safety and productivity and fuel. So you know, you're always in the running, which is a good thing for our drivers. I don't know if we've got, and I'm sure you guys have a lot more questions than this. There's Dave, did you want to talk a little bit about you know, safety and what, I know we've got a lot of really good things going on as far as the company and making strides for safety. I feel like this is just going to elevate that one step further, which is always a good thing for everyone at Swift, right?
Yeah. I think there's, you know, I alluded to it a little bit earlier, but it's no secret. I mean, we put out a lot of videos this year, and we're very proud of our driving associates, our owners, really everyone who's affiliated with us. because we are seeing really phenomenal results, and we're seeing a really strong commitment to safety. We're seeing our folks take ownership of their driving behaviors, and that's reflected, I think, in that smart drive score we talked about, but also our crash rates. We're improving that on a very large scale, and we've seen just tremendous progress year over year. So we're really excited about that. I'm personally extremely excited about what I'm seeing out of our mentor group, and the way that they're training the next group of students and getting folks ready to run solo is just extremely encouraging. And yes, to answer that question, Tina, I think this performance program is made possible and is really a reflection of the hard work that's gone in. Certainly by a lot of folks in the office, but in reality, by our drivers that are on the bring every day. We've seen this has been a challenging year, with COVID and with just a lot of other distractions that went on throughout the summer that were very easy to occupy people's attention and minds. But we just see our drivers continually raising the expectations, which is exactly the kind of culture we want to be a part of, and it's really.
Hey,
Absolutely.
one of the last things I want to touch on is I did see a couple comments, and I just want to address that. They had asked if during this time, we're because you had said, Tina, well, what's the catch? What are they trying to do, right? Never at any point when we started this program or started this project, it was really truly about us being advocates for you as the driver. That's what our department is all about in the retention department. And I just want you to know that it never at any point was it about a cost cutting measure, or it was truly how do we improve our drivers' experience with this ranking program. So with that in mind, that was the basis behind all of this. This was the basis behind all the feedback we got from drivers that we used to create this monthly. It pays more, right? It pays faster. All of these things that go into this program. So hopefully we hit the mark. We definitely would encourage your feedback. Please call us. Get with your terminal leadership at any point. If you have more questions, they have direct access to. We appreciate everything you're doing. And then the last thing on top of this, just to show that this isn't anything like that. The other exciting news that I feel like I get to let two cats out of the bag at once is on November 30th for OTR, dry, refrigerated, and flatbed, there is also a 2-cent for all pay bands raise across the board. So again, we're committed to taking care of our drivers. We're committed to overall just the culture and the great company that we are. So please just take our thank you and give us feedback if we hit the mark through Voice Your Choice, through surveys, through your terminal leadership, any of those points, call me directly. I've talked to a bunch of you, and I have a lot of your cell phone numbers. You have mine, and we encourage that feedback every day. And we want to thank you for joining us, and hopefully you appreciate and we hit the mark on this the right way.
Absolutely. That was big news, Ken. You just kind of glazed over it. But yeah, there'll be more information on that exciting news that Ken just spoke about on the portals as we release that. Again, there are FAQs out there on the portals as well. I know there's a lot of questions about your own personal situation. So familiarize yourself with the FAQs. We're not turning on the plug or turning on the program right now. We're giving you time to talk it through and figure it out and see how this is going to work out for you. We're not trying to catch you on anything. So really excited about this program. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Dave, for being on this broadcast. And keep the comments coming. You can even comment on the portal as well. We'll answer your questions as they come in, and we appreciate you guys. You guys be safe out there, and thanks for joining.